I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. Before we get into it, the real introduction, this is an introduction I'm doing after I've put everything else together. I am showing you my personal journey. This is what I'm going through. These are my experiences, and I've done this protocol based on things that I have gathered around the internet, and largely Penn Smith Skincare, and that's Penny, who is a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon. Now I changed some things up a little bit, but needle lengths I've used, a lot of the products pre and post I've used, and some advice that I'd use as well about makeup, because I might be hearing some stories about that. I looked at Dr. Dre's video on this, and she said don't wear makeup for 2 weeks, but you can get an Alpeda laser and be down for 2 weeks and get a far better result. That just seemed a little extreme to me, so I asked Penny, and she said she'll put on makeup the next day. I also wore a lot of sunscreen, the Josie Maran, which is based in an oil, and I'm hopeful that that kind of acted a bit as a shield from my makeup, but I had to wear some. And I'm here to say right off the bat, I made a mistake. I didn't realize the mistake that I made until much later, and I talk about it at the end of the video, so please watch from beginning to end before you make a comment about a mistake that I may have made. No damage done, just a lesson for the next time I go. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to share my experience. I'm here to learn, and I want it to be kind of a nice community. If you watch to the end and you find I've made another mistake, let me know about it, because I think I only made one. Now, let's get into the real introduction. I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. It is nighttime, you can probably tell, and it's time to do medical microneedling. I'm a little afraid. I just took a nap and it's almost 8 o'clock and it can't be put off anymore, but I'm going to, because there's some things I want to go over and I have some notes. When I did the nano, I didn't talk too much about the other things. I just want to do a big wide generalization on needling. I am not a doctor, I'm not an esthetician, I'm just somebody who's looked into it a little bit. And I'm hoping that what my information is pretty solid. I can't speak to contradictions. I can say that if you have active acne, you should not be microneedling. Now, there's 3 kinds of needling. There is nano, which is not actually needles. It is cones. And there's 81 cones in each cartridge, and they are quite small. They don't put channels into the skin. They kind of move aside the cells so that you can get a better infusion and they'll be able to penetrate deeper. Then there are the devices that are rollers. These are the things you can get for $30. I've seen them from 0.25 to 0.50, but I believe they go up to 1. 0.25 to 0.50 is considered cosmetic needling. And this does put channels into the skin, but they're little channels. And again, this is about infusion. You'll see people who sell these devices say that this is for collagen induction, but they're just not deep enough to stimulate the fibroblasts to produce collagen. So they're cosmetic. And then you have medical. Medical is designed to go deeper into the skin to stimulate the fibroblasts so they can produce more collagen. It's called C.I.T, C.I.T, Collagen Induction Therapy. You can get cartridges with 9 needles, with 12 needles, with 36 needles, with 42 needles. The length of needles are generally the same. You determine the depth of how deeply it penetrates your skin on your pen. While nano needling is something you could do 1 to 4 times a week depending on your skin, how inflamed it gets, how fast it recovers. If you are inflamed, you don't want to do it again. So if your skin takes a week to get rid of that or 4 days to get rid of that, I would give your skin a couple of days of not being inflamed before you try it again. The same could be said depending on the length that you get of the derma roller devices. With C.I.T, you wait a month. You do 1 treatment and you wait a month. Your skin goes through a nice long process of signaling there's damage here. Please come and do some work and produce some collagen, and then the healing process, and that takes a month to 6 weeks. You do not want to do it closer than that. I still have makeup on, so I'm going to go wash my face, and then I'm going to put on numbing cream, and I will show you how I do that. I'll let that sit for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I will wipe it off, then I will clean my face, and then I will swab my face with a paper towel and alcohol. Alcohol is not something I like, but in this case, you got to do it. You don't want any numbing cream left over on your face. When you wash your face, you rinse and rinse and rinse until you think you're done rinsing, and then rinse some more. With nano and with the derma rolling devices, you might want to exfoliate your face first. I wouldn't exfoliate before this, although I haven't heard one way or another, but I don't want to, again, have anything trace left on my skin that might get into those channels. So I'm going to go wash my face, and then I'm going to come back and do some numbing, and I will see you in a few minutes. Face is washed, and I have at the ready rubbing alcohol, paper towels, a little dish of fan brush hyaluronic acid, but most importantly for right now is the numbing cream. The protocol I'm taking from is from Penny Smith from Penn Smith Skincare. That's her YouTube channel. And I don't know if this is the cream she used, I think it is, but she likes to just rub this in. It stinks. Ugh. And that's what I'm going to do. I do not have gloves, but you should have gloves. It's just, one, I don't have gloves, and two, I really hate wearing gloves because my hands get sweaty and then it's just a mess. My hands get loose within the gloves and they get sweaty, and it's just not a good thing. So I'm going to rub this in, and then I'm just going to wash off my hands. And I will keep a paper towel that is soaked in alcohol right on my leg. When I'm using the pen, I'll be sure to, if I touch anything, disinfect. Be sure to get around your hairline, because we are going to get that area. And same thing when you were washing your face. Got a little hair. I'm going to have to put on my headband after this. You want to wash your face around your hairline. There's oils and dirt in there, and you don't want those getting anywhere. Extra careful around the nose to get out any sunscreen or makeup. And I'm going to go a little bit to the jawline, although I don't think I'll hit the jawline, and I'm not doing the neck today. My neck was a little sensitive to the nano, so I think I'm just going to do the nano a couple more times before I do this with my neck. Wash the hands, and I'll be back in 15 minutes. So the next step is wipe, wash, and swab. Wipe off your numbing cream, wash your face, and then swab with alcohol. I found that this dried completely, so I couldn't wipe it off. So I rinsed my face, took a paper towel and wiped, rinsed it again, took a paper towel and wiped, and then I used this cleanser because this strips like nobody's business. I bought this, I was shocked that they call this gentle and hydrating or whatever they call it. No. When you rinse your face off and your hands glide against your face, you can hear squeaking, and it's perfect because I know it took everything off. And now I'm going to swab with alcohol. The Dr. Pen, the cartridge. I need my magnifying glass because I'm going to do a 2.5. And I'm going to start on the forehead. And this hyaluronic acid is something that she recommended. It is 100% pure hyaluronic acid. There is nothing else in here. You don't want to put anything else that deep into your skin, but your skin does produce hyaluronic acid, so your body recognizes this as something that should be there. Oh, I'm scared. Let's go. Oh, this is nothing. Okay. So Penny likes to do squares. And be sure to get up by your hairline. Up and down, and then she will do horizontal, and then a diagonal. Your forehead can be the most painful place because this skin is very thin there, or rather, there's not much space between what's going on and the bone. Yeah, I'm getting some drag. And now I'm just going to go in circles. I see these little hairs here, even though I did put on this hairband. I wouldn't put my hyaluronic acid on too much of the face at one time because it dries pretty quick. I'm going to have to go to this mirror over here because my hand is in the way of seeing. Get a little about at the 11s. I'm still at 0.25. So over the cheekbones, because there's a bone there, you want to keep it at 2.5, but we will go a little higher, I think. Not yet, though. I'm going to pull this down a little bit, so I'm working against the orbital bone. Go in circular motions. Back and forth. Now the nose, it's another place where you want to keep it at 2.5, just one side. It feels so strange on the nose. If you have any issues with postnasal drip or congestion, it's going to feel strange. I don't want to go crazy because the bone is right there. Kind of working backwards. And if you can't see this, I'll edit this part out. And the crow's area and the top of the cheekbone. I'm just going to hold my little hairs back here. I just moved this up to 5, and I definitely want to get this area. The sides of the face are kind of where the architecture of your face is, and you want some collagen and elastin there. Now I have a mole right here, a raised mole that I'm going to work around. Fish face. I'm going to do the other side. I feel like I could probably go higher than the 5 on the sides of the face, but I'm not going to. All right, now I'm going to do the upper lip. I'm gonna keep it here. Because there's no bone, it's very fleshy right here. If it's too much for me, I'll bring it down. So 5. And let's see. No. That was easy. Ooh. Oh. Okay. And the chin. Did I not get this area? So weird, there's no blood there. I think it's weird. I don't know if I didn't hit this area, but I'm just gonna go over it again. That's it. Take this off, throw it away. Recharge, so next time you use it you don't have to go, did I recharge this? And you're done. Now Penny has suggested that you leave this on your face. You're not going to wash this off. She said if it's really gunky and you have to, take a shower, let the water run on your face and leave it alone. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave this on my face. And then I'm going to shoot what I look like tomorrow morning and tell you about the aftercare. Well, let me go over aftercare right now. Again, I can't put on my glasses, so magnifying glass. From days 1 to 5, you can use a kiwi oil, growth factors, and vitamin C in a stable magnesium ascorbyl phosphate. It's also known as MAP. Do not use vitamin C in L-ascorbic acid for the first 3 days. It's too much. By day 3, you can use retinol products. She says that the protocol is for vitamin A or retinol, retinaldehyde, whatever you're using, but she says maybe after 3 days, just to be safe. And I'm thinking if you can do retinol then, you can probably do an L-ascorbic acid vitamin C by then. Day 6 through 14, you could add your copper peptides, your niacinamide, and your green tea. So I don't have copper peptides, I just have regular peptides, which are not as strong. And I may introduce those a little bit earlier than that, but that's kind of what's going on. And we'll see you tomorrow morning and see what it looks like. I know it looks a little strange, and I thought I was pretty mellow just doing 0.25 and 5 the first time out. It wasn't painful with the numbing cream. It felt very similar to what the nano felt like. And there's my little poopy dog going, "What are you doing, Mom?" And that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Next time you see me, I have no idea what I'm going to look like. Good morning. Let me tell you about my process last night. I started, I think, about 8 o'clock, probably done by 8:30. I had put on that hyaluronic acid to act as my slip agent, and I left it on with all that blood on my face. A couple of hours later, it felt like it was kind of falling off, and I put some more on. I really like the idea of just sleeping with that on your face because it becomes a seal. It's not cosmetically elegant. It's not something I would use in my everyday routine at all because it just is this film on your face. And I like the idea of that film just protecting your skin from dust, dander, pet hair, whatever, getting into those open channels. But I was up quite late. I was up until, well, quite late. Around 2 o'clock in the morning I thought, I really want to take a look what's going on. I rinsed it off. I didn't wash my face. I took a look. I put some more on, and then I put on the Cereve Night Renewing Cream, which is quite thick. So I did this more than 12 hours ago. It's 10 o'clock. And there's a lot of redness on the face. The forehead especially. There's nothing broken, but a lot of redness. And here's a little word of warning, something I did wrong. I did a lot of research on this. I took notes of my post-care, my pre-care, the needle, etc., etc. The two things I couldn't find was what speed should I be using, and I should have watched Penny's video right before I did it. So I think I did my forehead far too slow because she was just going like this and I was going like this, and I wasn't lifting up the needle. By the time I got down here, my patience was, you know, thinner, and I started moving faster, and I'm not quite as red right here. So makeup required, but I don't think there's any damage. There's no scabbing going on. It did feel uncomfortable last night, but once I figured out it wasn't really my skin so much as it was the hyaluronic acid tightening on my skin, I was cool with it. I think 25 is quite shallow, but I wasn't using a derma roller. You know, when you're using something that is a machine, you're going to get a lot more activity, shall we say. So it didn't go deep, but I got a lot. So there's a lesson from me to you. Watch somebody who's an expert, an esthetician, or a doctor right before, because I hadn't seen her video for probably a week. I needed to refresh myself, but moving faster is better. So this is what it looks like. I just took a shower. I rinsed my face. I didn't use soap because I kind of don't want to. I am going to do something not part of her protocol. This is Pyungkang Yule. It's their toner, and it has a lot of astragalus root. Astragalus root is anti-inflammatory and very hydrating. And this is a brand that was created by a doctor. It's apparently a famous clinic in South Korea, and I'm fine with it. And as you see, my face becomes more red as I touch it, which isn't incredibly unusual. Usually I go with my niacinamide, my peptides, my vitamin C first thing after a toner, and then I do a light lotion, and then I do something to seal it in. I don't want to use any of my light lotions because I have a feeling they have things in them that I don't want to put in right now. Right now it's about skin identicals, right? So your ceramides, your hyaluronic acid, your omega fatty acids, your cholesterol, those are the things that make up your skin barrier, and those are the things that your skin will recognize as, oh yeah, you belong here. And that way you're not going to get this thing that I cannot remember what it's called. I'm going to put it right down here. But that is when something that is foreign gets into your skin after this kind of procedure, and your skin kind of walls off like, whoa, what are you? You don't belong here. And the cells kind of form a chain around it to lock it into one place. And Dr. Dre has said that this is permanent. And it's something you can see and feel. So you don't want to bring in things that are not skin identicals right now. This is liquid gold. This is omega fatty acids, ceramides, and cholesterol. It's the same pH and ratio as your skin's barrier, and that's what I'm going to use. I usually just do one pump, but I usually have a lot more going on. So I'm going to do 1.5. Actually, I use this every day after my light lotion just to lock everything in. So this will definitely sink in, it usually does, and I may go on to one more product, which would be this from Avene. I have read that this was actually created by doctors to use post-procedure. There's no fragrance, it's a very simple formulation, it has the thermal water in it, and I've used this after I've had, not sunburn, because I don't do that anymore, but laser procedures, or my skin is feeling kind of sensitive. I don't use it very often because my barrier is really healthy right now. But for something like this, I might go in after that. Another thing I might do is this kiwi oil, also recommended from Penny. And then I will have to go into a mineral sunscreen. I loathe mineral sunscreens. I find them to be incredibly inelegant and drying as all get out. Hate this one, hate it, but I might be having to use it. The Josie Maran, I don't mind at all. I don't find it drying. Even though it's cased in an oil, I don't find it moisturizing either. It's almost as if that oil counteracts the dryness of the minerals, but it leaves you very, very, very shiny. And that's going to be it for right now. I am going to do one more tomorrow morning. I think I do need some makeup today because I have to do some errands. It's Saturday and it looks like I had chicken pox. I'll be back in a minute. Hello, I'm back. There's an explanation for this. I'm a geek. Okay. My glasses rub off on the side of my face and they've kind of scarred me, and I hit that with the microneedles, so I didn't want to just put them right back and let them rub on. So I'm just putting a little paper towel up here to raise them so they're not hitting right there. But I wanted to show you what's going on with the makeup. I used a very generous amount of the Josie Maran sunscreen, and then I put on the New Bite Beauty. It had some issues with that sunscreen, even though I let it soak in for a solid 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes. But I just kept on going, got out the Beauty Blender, tried to even it out, and I think it looks okay. And then I really had to get a sunscreen situation for reapplying, since you can't put a wet sunscreen on top of your foundation, and foundation is obviously necessary for me right now. Now, Supergoop has a setting spray / sunscreen that I usually do that with. So if I've been wearing my sunscreen all day and it's like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and I decide I'm going to take the dog out for a walk, I usually put that on top, and it's great. You spray it into your hand, pat it on your face, and it really works. Unfortunately, it is full of stuff you do not want to put on a freshly needled face, including but not limited to rosemary oil. In fact, last week, I think, after I did the nano, I decided to go for a walk around 3 o'clock. It was kind of cloudy, but you know, the UVAs are out all the time, whether it's cloudy or not. And I thought about it, and I thought, if I put that rosemary on my face, it's going to be really unhappy. I'll just have to wear a hat. And I forgot the hat. So 2 lessons here. 1, stuff with rosemary, no, ever. It irritates many, many people. But if you were post-procedure, no way. And 2, even if you're just doing a nano, you have to have that sunscreen on. You just can't go outside and walk for an hour. And half of it was in shade. And it took me, I think, a day or 2 longer to get unred from the nano just because of that exposure to the sun. So I wanted to get something, and I got this Supergoop powder. Now, I've tried the powders before from Philip Roth. It was Peter Thomas Roth, I think it is. You know who I'm talking about, the guy whose last name is Roth. And their brush is so stiff, it hurts. And I thought, if I'm post-procedure, the last thing I want to do is take a really stiff, dense brush that feels almost itchy and put that on my face. It feels like horsetail, you know what I mean? No. And the brush on this one is softer, it's doable. So now I know I can be safe when I'm post-procedure. But the makeup is fine. I don't think you can really tell. I just did a little bit of blush and a ton of foundation and a little something on my eye. Really, really mellow. I just had to not have those big red marks being seen when I was going out today. Yeah. All right. The next thing you're going to see is what my face looks like tomorrow morning. Okay. I won't be here long because I truly just woke up. But this is me. So I washed my face with the Tatcha last night, and then the Bounce Gentle, quote unquote, had to do it because it's not gentle. And then I moisturized with the Liquid Gold and an Ordinary product. But I did just wake up, so my brain's not working. So the Ordinary product, right here, right here. And yeah, you know, when you wake up, it's all on your pillow anyway. My forehead still looks pretty messy. But from here down, I don't think it looks all that terribly rough. Not too different than what my skin looks like. This area right here, a little bit more red. But I truly, truly woke up. This could just be me on the pillow. So that's going to wrap it up for me. So this is the second day after, and it doesn't hurt. It just looks, you know, a little rough. And that's about it. Thanks for playing. Bye.